Okay, we got my girl Rachel Summers in her Hound's signature costume when she was brainwashed and made a hunter of her fellow mutants. I've been wanting this figure for so long and they finally released it and I'm so hyped. So I figured now I had to get the Phoenix with the Firebird effect and really play around and have some fun. So enjoy. It's going to be a head swapping video. I'll try to do some of the looks that I know people want to see, and I won't make it too long. My review for this figure is pretty straightforward. I love that what they did with the Phoenix effect on her wrist to give her, that signature comic book accurate accessory. I appreciate that. The studs on her body are actually very pointy and they hurt if you press against them. So kudos to them for nailing that real punk um edgy aesthetic in her hound costume. It does hurt if you press against it. I think the only gripe I would have is they didn't include the flaming head accessory. I know that we got two head accessories, which is actually really good, but I would have loved to have that flaming fire head that is on Excalibur most of the times to have as an option. And they'll probably do a repaint or some kind of re-release of her with that proper head so that they can make even more money. But that's probably the only things that I wish that the figure came with. I also took a couple pictures of her in the red Phoenix costume next to the Jim Lee Jean Grey because I know people would want to see that look. It is a replication from a comic book panel where they have a conversation, and if anyone who's read the comics, they know that Jean and Scott are not the best parents, and oftentimes CPS should have been called. However, Jean, when she first meets Rachel, they don't have the best relationship because Jean is weirded out that she has a teenage daughter from the alternate future after just coming back from the dead. She just realizes that it's too much, so she kind of shuts Rachel out, and they don't have that initial mother-daughter relationship. I decided to keep the Hound's scarred face head sculpt on the red body and put the regular face on the gold and green body just because that's how it is comic accurate. You guys can display her if you have the Excalibur collection. You have Nightcrawler, Captain Britain, and I forgot the name of the other elf girl and Kitty Pryde. You can definitely display her with them. You can display her fighting Galactus in the green costume if you want. You can also display her fighting, I believe, the Beyonder. If you have Secret Wars Beyonder, she fought him. Although she had a different costume on, you can still use that if you want to create a display with her if you don't have the characters I mentioned prior. I typically would have put her in my 80s display since she debuted in, I believe, 1981 or 84. But because I have the Jean Grey display, I just thought it would be proper to put her next to her mother. And of course, we have the life and times of Jean Grey, where of course she starts out as Marvel Girl and then she transitions to Phoenix and then she grows to Dark Phoenix and then it transitions of course to her X Factor and Age of Apocalypse era and also her Jim Lee era as well. So those were just a few little moments of her life just to complement the poster that's behind her. Thanks for watching, guys.